Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Marvelous Medicine. Today, Suren and Pooja are going to take us through how to arrange a conference and make it a successful one. Because nowadays conferences are dime a dozen, and frankly speaking, it's quite tiring to just attend them. Most people skip all the sessions and then they are doing their own stuff or whatever. And of course, now with COVID, people just log in and have the camera and mic and everything off and probably not even listening. But conferences arranged by Patarada Krishna, Pooja, and Suren, people stay inside the hall throughout the day, even if it is 8 hours or whatever. And they're all, glued to their chairs. And after the academics are over, there is great camaraderie. And so I thought, with COVID regressing and face-to-face or in-person conferences are going to restart. So I thought this is a good time to have an offbeat topic on Marvelous Medicine. So welcome everybody, and thank you Suren and Pooja and Dr. Tiwari for agreeing to join us. So those in Marvelous Medicine already know about Surendranath. However, I'll just complete the introductions for formality. Surendranath is a specialist anesthetist at King Hamad University Hospital, Bahrain. He did his MBBS from Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Medical Sciences, Sevagram, and his DPNB anesthesia from Apollo Hospital, Chennai. His special interests are daycare surgery, regional anesthesia, transplant anesthesia, and labor analgesia. Despite being on duty today, he is agreed to join us, and we thank his colleagues for helping him to spend some time with us. Joining in from Australia, losing her sleep over this, is Pooja Bagdi Agarwal. She's a specialist anesthetist at Warrnambool, did I pronounce it right? Base Hospital in Victoria, Australia. She did her MBBS at Annamalai University, her diploma in anesthesia from Sri Ramchandra Medical College and Hospital, and her DNB anesthesia from Apollo Hospital. Pooja and Suren know each other from the DNB days, and they have also been working with Patarada Krishna for many years, till recently. Pooja recently became a fellow of the Australian and New Zealand College of Anesthetists by passing her exams, and her areas of interest mimic Suren's, that is ambulatory anesthesia and regional anesthesia. When I was new to the Fortis organization or family, if you would say, one of the first conferences I attended, we used to have an annual conference called Pan Fortis Anesthesia Conference, and I attended the first one in Delhi when I didn't know anybody. And it was Dr. Rajiv Tiwari and his team, though they were not the organizers, they were themselves visitors, but they kind of took me into their fold, and I was really, very touched by their entire team. And immediately after that, they organized the next Panfora in Jaipur, and believe me, we all had a blast. It was like as if we went to attend some wedding, but we had serious academics as well. So Dr. Rajiv Lochan Tiwari is the director and head of department and of including surgical intensive care and pain at Fortis Escorts Hospital, Jaipur. He did his MBBS and MD anesthesia from SMS Medical College and Hospital, Jaipur. He followed up his interest in cardiac anesthesia by spending time in reputed cardiac surgical units in the United States, United Kingdom, and India. He has been a teacher and examiner for both DNB anesthesia and fellowship in cardiac anesthesia. He has several publications in national and international journals and is a peer reviewer of RSACP. He has been a faculty in several conferences and has also organized conferences. Welcome, Dr. Tiwari. And sir is a great singer, and not only, he even remembers the lyrics of every song from the beginning to the end. So if we have time in the end, I'll request him to sing for us. Over to you, Suren and Pooja.
Thank you, madam. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for a fantastic introduction and introduction of the topic. So this is meant to be more of a casual discussion and to enlighten everybody with how to conduct a conference. And I thank our moderator, Dr. Tiwari, for joining us, and I'll just take you to the topic now. Shall we start?
Yes.
Yeah, let's start.
So first, a disclaimer: please don't link any of your imagined characters which you may think in your mind during this lecture, either dead or alive, because if you do, it is purely coincidental, and we are not responsible for that. Okay. Yeah. So me and Pooja standing in front of the podium on many conferences, introducing faculties, introducing topics, interacting with delegates, introducing all the panel discussions, and sitting through the conferences. It was all possible because of this man, uh, so, who came in
Dr.
our life.
RK, yeah.
Yeah, Dr. RK. So he ignited the organization part within us, which was a hidden talent within us, and he brought it out and he showcased it through many conferences, and we are here because of him. So we both owe him a big time in our life.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you very much. And I think he ignited something in us that we didn't know that we had, we didn't know capable of. And it was just seamless when we started off together. And I think the biggest success to organizing a successful conference is a good team to start with.
And with a good leader. So I think that leadership qualities with which he attracted us, I think that guided us through almost 8 years of conducting conferences and many meets, which we will try to, the conferences conducted by us were, the first one was 7th International Conference of Association of Day Surgery, which was conducted in April 2014. And I still remember I was in Bangalore having a chat in VV Puram, so in Butter Dosa, when Dr. Pooja called me and she said, we are conducting conference and you are the treasurer. I said, what? I'm a treasurer? I don't know how to conduct a conference. No, Dr. Patta Radhakrishnan is the chairman and I'm the secretary, you are the treasurer. I said, okay, fine. So I came to Chennai on Monday after visiting my wife, and we just came together in Apollo Hospital. I think Dr. Radhakrishna's OP is always full with people, means his friends, his patients, everything. And whenever we go to his room and OP, he'll say, sit down, sit down. So that used to be his welcome always. And we used to sit for a lot of time and we visited him. And many times we went there and discussed over extended hours, isn't it, Pooja? So we had chat, our chat, our coffees, our samosas always on the table, filled.
And the thing was, we never had really done anything or even on a small scale before that. And we taken, taken a big task ahead. And an International Association of Day Surgery conference. And who are we? We're totally unknown in the field. And we had a great leader. And then Radhakrishna said, okay, we should probably have an insight from the expert. And then he arranged for us to meet Dr. Sridhar, K. Sridhar, who was that time leading SIMS Hospital, which was another hospital that had just opened up in Chennai, where we were all going to actually be joining. But at that point in time, we were all working in different hospitals.
Yeah.
Interesting, when we made an appointment with Dr. Sridhar and we actually sat down with a diary and pen, he was also the president of the Indian Association of Plastic Surgery. He actually broke it down into so many topics for us, and we didn't know that there was so much to organizing a conference.
And this happened in February. Yeah, this was in February 2014, and we had to conduct the conference in 2014 April. So, and everything had to be done between these 2 months, and we started like that. And it was a grand success. Actually, that conference was a grand success. And we had invitees from UK and those president of International Ambulatory Association, president and secretary. They were amazed by the workshop and the conference. So it started with ADSCON and it continued with Enhance. That is a nutrition. This is from Indian Association of Parental and Enteral Nutrition. That association approached us to conduct this conference. So this is mainly for nutritionists, and Dr. Patta sir said, no, we have to improve the conference to enhance recovery after surgery, and we'll include the nutrition part along with it. So we had varied delegates, different departments from anesthesia to intensivists, surgeons, nutritionists, nurses. Everybody joined as delegates. This was a huge success in November 2015. Then we marched towards Learn from the Legends. That was the first official conference of the Learning General Surgery group, the Facebook group. And that was a 2 days conference in March 2016. And the next was Let's Learn Together. That was in August 2018. So these two conferences were conducted under his leadership. And this conference was unique because this was completely a panel discussion, offbeat topics, and heavyweights like Dr. Samiran Nandi and means who's who of Tamil Nadu and India participated as faculty, and they gave a huge input to us. This was another 1 day conference. So then we had this conference organized in our department on behalf of SIMS Anesthesia Department as SIMS Anesthesia for Futuristic Education, SAFE 2016 on Ether Day. So Patasar said, instead of having a complete 1 day conference, why don't we have a theme? So we had a theme of green OT. That was eco-friendly OT, isn't it, Pooja?
Yeah, I think the concepts that we probably like everybody was talking about it, but do a conference totally on just green OT was very different. It was very well received and appreciated because it got everybody to thinking about sustainability in anesthesia, which is very heavy duty right now. And I think today, COVID, Mother Earth has shown us, if you don't treat me well, then you just stay where you are.
Actually, we have only 75 registered. We have limited our registration for this conference with 75, but we have to extend up to 110 with huge reception. And it was a half-day conference with half-day workshop. That was his idea. And this was a big thing for me. I think Dr. Vidya also was in the organizing team in this conference, the anesthetist conference. There's another group, the anesthetist Facebook group. On behalf of the anesthetist group, this conference was conducted in 2018 August. And this was a huge responsibility on us because the expectations were very high. And though Dr. Patasar was not formally in the team, but he was the backbone for me. For anything, I used to go back to his room to discuss how to take things up.
Yeah. And I think having done the conferences before we got to doing TACON, that time of TACON, I was physically not there. It gave us a lot of insights and ideas of how to take it to the next level. And I do think it is a very well conducted conference. And there are so many people who feel the same way. So we will just highlight, we don't know how conferences should be conducted, but what we are highlighting is our part as to how we got to where we got. And just share what we think really worked to getting there.
And the next initiative is the SMILE, the SIMS Multi-Speciality Initiative for Learning and Education. This was conducted on behalf of our hospital. And this idea again came from Patasar for to bring and introduce interdepartmental colleagues. That is, a radiologist doesn't know what an anesthetist do. Anesthetist doesn't know what an intensivist do. So this was a good platform that made a good interaction between departments within the same hospital. It improved the camaraderie, the friendship, and everybody started looking to attending SMILE, not only for a lavish spread for lunch, but also for the topics which we had. Suppose we took a topic of renal transplant. So it used to start from nephrology side. So what is a renal transplant? What is AVO incompatible transplant? How many we have done in this hospital? Then anesthetists used to come, how to prepare such patients for transplant. And the surgeons will come with their perspective, laparoscopic and difficult cases, how they assess, how to assess the artery, how to keep the artery. They showed few videos. So even a pathologist will come to know this is the entire process of renal transplantation happening in the same hospital which we are working. So it was a good platform for advertisement for the department and to know about each department, what are the capabilities of each department. Suppose a radiologist doesn't know that ultrasound is used in operation theater so much, till we told about our acute pain care services in one of these meetings, SMILE meeting.
And actually the unique thing of SMILE, as it became very commonly addressed to, that people ask, okay, what's your next topic for SMILE? But because after you finish your probably post-graduation or you finish your MBBS, you are not really up to date about what else is happening in the different specialties. You don't really attend conferences anymore of multi-specialties. So that was a very good platform where you were even getting updated with what's the advancement in all the different specialties before, and in the place that you're working as well. So you know what's available where you work. So I think that was like the biggest hit of the Smile. And one very unique thing that we did was the lunch, as Suren has mentioned, we did a lot of research, and we used to have from every different state. What is that? So we planned like a state lunch. Okay, we're going to do Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Assam, this, that. And we used to be very involved with the chef in deciding that. And then we started the thing of playing national anthem at the end of every Smile meet. And every national anthem was like different. Whether it's just like Mile Sur Mera Tumhara of that, from that time, to whether it was just by the deaf and dumb, or whether it was just by children, or it was different. So we had one of the pediatricians who would actually send us links when they'd come across a different kind of national anthem. So there were small things, but when people started giving us inputs as well, we realized, oh, it's making a difference.
And our chef used to say that after a few months, initially he was reluctant. Sir, you are giving difficult task for me to prepare. It's difficult for me to do. But after a few months, he got involved, Mr. Moses, and he used to draw. So this time we'll put Thailand dish. Now we'll put Burmese item. We'll put Sri Lankan item. He came up with new ideas and he got involved. So that's how this meet became a hit in our hospital. And it was initially it was live telecasted in the Learning General Surgery group initially, and then it was edited and it was posted, and it was widely received by many people in this group too. So with this background, I think we are having some practical experience of how to conduct a conference and medical meet. So do we really need medical conference? This is the next question. So definitely we need to attend conferences. For most important thing that we need to update with our knowledge, because if we don't update, we become outdated. So we have to update with the current medical advances. We have to attend workshops to improve our skills, because I think our director, Dr. Raghavendran, he never had exposure to ultrasound. So he attended a lot of ultrasound workshops and improved his skills at the age of 50, 55. He became a pain specialist. So that is something great, because he updated himself with new skills. So we have to improve our skills by attending many workshops. Definitely, we need to increase our professional networking through attending conferences. It helps us to meet our old friends from PG days and our childhood friends, and it's a very good platform for them to meet. Some people take their family with some conference venues so that we can have a quality time to be spent. And most important, the entertainment part, because there are a lot of cultural activities in the conference. So even family can have a get together with this entertainment part.
So the only thing that we change in the entertainment here is you're not watching somebody do the entertainment, but you are the part of entertainment, and you meet your virtual friends in real life. Because now through virtual, the conference never really ends. You just keep continuing to, make or renew all connections and make new connections. And also you've also got the liberty to ask another person as to, how to do it and how to go on. When you face real life challenges, you have help ready at hand.
So there are many types of scientific meetings. Workshop, that is to improve your practical skill. You attend 1-day workshop, 2-day workshop, like you have for ultrasound in anesthesia, you have laparoscopic workshop for surgical people. And seminars are usually conducted by postgraduate. It could be an hour or two with help of input from a senior faculty. A symposium is a day-long program where you take one topic and dwell on it. Suppose if you say cancer cervix. So the entire day schedule will consist of different cancer treatment, radiotherapy, how to diagnose cancer, cervix, and things like that. That is a day symposium. CME is continuing medical education, where you get an expert talk on a particular topic with recent advances. So this is continuing medical education, CME. Conferences, which we know, a state level conference, zonal conferences, national and international level. So these are different type of conference where you showcase a particular work done in a particular place to people. Congress is usually international congress, where expert people from each department or each field, they meet regularly, either annually or biannually, and they give futuristic paths, how to improve the research. They give guidelines. So that is international congress. And I think with COVID, everything is put in one capsule, that is online meeting or webinar. And we have such a wonderful program like Marvelous Medicine, where you have participation from United States to Australia. And the beauty of online meeting is it can be saved. If I'm not able to attend, I will be able to see over the weekend, watch over the weekend, because it is there in the Facebook and the YouTube link is created. So you can always watch this online meeting, and it is always, it is like a fossil. It is there always with you. And Marvelous Medicine, I have, even if I don't attend Marvelous Medicine, sometimes in due to time difference, I watch it over the weekend. So this online meeting gave a huge relief because of this, the time zone difference can be erased.
Yeah, I think
the next, yes, we'll go to what are the components. Yeah. The core components are organizational, the professional part, cultural. Each is important on its own weight, because everything is important as far as conferences conducted in India. Okay, the first thing, we need to give credit to Dr. Sridhar, who took pains in tutoring me and Pooja on how to conduct a conference. He called us to his room in an evening. He made us sit. I carried a diary and a pen, and he told, right, first, what are the topics which you need to conduct? Number one, delegates. Are they focused delegates or different department delegates? So how to address them, number one. Number two, each and every point, food, beverages, conference bag, gift, ID card, website creation, everything. He told each and every point threadbare, including how to plan a banquet, how much hard liquor you need, how much beer you need to order, everything he told. The formula for it, how to keep a coffee, where to keep a coffee, when to have an inauguration, where to break the session. Everything he told threadbare to us, and that's how we started. So the credit goes to him. And the SIMS Hospital, the institution where me and Pooja worked with Dr. Patta sir, for giving us all the opportunity and support for us to conduct all the conferences which I enlisted before. Okay. Pooja, we want to talk about budgeting, how we do it.
Yeah, I think that once we decided that how we are going to do the conference, basically it comes down to, when there's a wedding in the family, what's the budget? Where are you going to start? It all starts with a budget. And what's your backup? Like if the delegate fee is not needed, well, the delegate fee is very reasonable in India, especially if you compare it to international conferences, which cost you a bomb. And that thing is just only for attending the conference. There's no extra frills that come along with it. Now the food is free, now the beverage is free, nothing else is free. So given that, the first thing we said is, okay, what's the budget? And you always keep an extra 20%, because you don't know where else you will need to spend money. And where will it come from? Whether an institution is going to support you, or you're going to have multiple pharmacies contribute, or just from the members or delegates. Like even the faculties are usually sponsored in India. So that was another thing that you had to budget for when you're requesting faculty from different places to travel to your venue.
We can also have government sponsors and agencies like Department of Biotechnology, ICMR, Department of Science and Technology, and WHO sponsoring medical conferences, but we need to apply to them much before, like 6 to 8 months before. Sometimes it takes a huge paperwork to submit to them and get sponsorship from them. I do not know. We have never done it. There are people who get funding from government agencies by submitting all the required documents, because my father used to conduct conference in his own field. He used to submit with DBT and used to get from DST. So I've never done it, and we have never done it in our conference.
Yeah.
So
And
once,
the beauty of online platforms is that you're not spending a lot, but someone is spending to get unlimited subscription of Zoom, to get all that recorded, to probably edit it. They're spending their time and energy to edit it and make it like easily viewable later. So there are some advantages and disadvantages. So advantages is, yeah, you have it available anytime. You can watch it anytime, but you really miss the, I think with COVID, where people have been in so many lockdowns again and again and again, right now you really want to be able to meet people and to actually interact with them even after. So online platforms are the biggest advantage. Even like for today, we are all sitting in different parts of the world, but still able to connect each other. It has its own beauty, but I think the in-presence or the face-to-face conferences are going to have their own appeal once they start full swing.
So the next important topic is how to form a team, organizing a team. So mostly it is by chance, but luckily we always had it by choice. And we always chose our team, whichever conference we conducted. So it was no ego team, and the chemistry was very good. And we never had any tussle between personalities. So we were able to bring in and pool in our own individual talents and resources. And it was a selfless effort, though it is advisable to meet once or twice in a month for an update with the organizing team. Whatever conference we had conducted, it was from the team of me, Patasar and Pooja. So it was possible for us to meet over a cup of tea every day and to think about conference and bring new ideas. And we had to decentralize our work through committees. The main advantage is you pool a lot of workforce and you can delegate work and get your work done. The disadvantage is you may lose a personal touch. You may have a different idea of bringing out the conference, but the committees may not think in the same way, the way you want it to be. So that is the main disadvantage of having a committees, but it's good to have committees because it is a united effort. And the conference which we had conducted at SCON, that was in the new hospital, that is a 10-day-old hospital. We had a workshop and we showcased 10 daycare cases from admission to discharge in the same day. And the conference was happening the evening, and people are shown how the patients were discharged pain-free. So that was possible with the help of a lot of committees, because in the new hospital, the work was limited and we could get people from all the departments and involved in this conference. So it improved our friendship and understanding between departments.
I think there was something very unique about ATSCON was the way we started, because the concept of day surgery, though it's there for a long time, but it's not really there. So even we visited so many government colleges, and when we told them that we're doing a conference purely on day surgery, and we wanted everybody's input as to how we were actually going and visiting them. One is to invite them in person to be a part of the conference, but also we were checking out how the facilities are across different kinds of hospitals, like from a small scale to a big scale to public and private. And I think we traveled Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry quite a bit, rather Chennai and Pondicherry quite a bit.
So this was my one of the organizing team for the NSRS Society, the TACON 2018 conducted in Chennai. So it was very bubbly team. Whatever I was able to think, it was done. So I'm thankful to all the organizational team of TACON. The next is choosing a date. Very, very, very important in conducting a conference. because
Yeah.
we burnt our fingers in the first conference because the dates were given to us, like 19th and 20th of April 2014. And
that was the Easter weekend.
Yeah, that was a weekend, but it was an Easter weekend. And we had planned a session for nursing staff. And one of our international faculty wanted to address them specifically on a Sunday morning. And he was there, but we couldn't get our nurses because they were busy in churches and they came late. But they told it's an Easter Sunday, we cannot miss our prayers. So that is one thing which we need to think. And whenever you fix a date, please don't try to see all calendars possible. Some calendars will give you main functions like Easter, Christmas, Diwali, Eid, something like that. But you have to go to some local calendar to see the local festivals, including Varalakshmi Nombu. People may not come on a Friday, isn't it? So that is very important in selecting a date or choosing a date.
Yeah. And the weather.
And avoid selecting a date during PG exams whenever you want postgraduates to attend. So that is without saying. And avoid proximity to the association conference, like zonal conference, South Zone, and state conferences. Weather, yes. Pooja, you wanted to tell about weather?
Yeah, because I think in our Enhance, we had trouble like that. We couldn't get local people to travel because it was raining and flooding everywhere.
Yeah, I remember Dr. Nagasamy and Dr. Vasanthi couldn't reach from T Nagar to Vadapalni because of flooded roads. So we couldn't, we had to miss few sessions because of that. So we have to remember about monsoon dates, fog, smog, because it will affect your flight arrivals and departures of international and national faculties. So think about it before choosing a date. I think even our ISACON was changed. The dates from December end was changed to November because of this reason, because of smog and fog in North India during December. So there are difficulty for faculties and delegates to reach and leave the conference venue. So the next important thing is conducting a conference in an institution, like we may have a hall in IIT or Anna University or any medical college, or conducting in a lavish 7-star hotel like Leela Palace or ITC. There are the advantage and disadvantage for each of them. Yes, Pooja, can you?
Yeah, so the advantage is when it's an institution, first it's always friendly on your pocket because it all depends on the funding that's available, and then location. And sometimes when it's in an institution, you can also have very good trade space, guest house and all of that. This is especially true if I speak of the venue from IIT Madras. But the disadvantages is if it's an institution, it may not be up to the mark in ambience wise. Power backup is present, but may not be present in the form of like if you need air cons working in summer, but you may have fans working. And then you probably don't know who are the steps or rather what's the hierarchy to make sure you're able to get everything. And the cleanliness, like the one of the conferences when we conducted, we had to make sure that we got like extra cleaning done for all the restrooms, and the food area is all very bare minimum. While for hotels, well, it all comes in a package, like airport pickup, drop, rooms, everything is in the venue, so you don't have to bother for travel afterwards. And depending on the size of the hotel that you choose, you may get lawns where it's easy to do different parts of the conference at different places in the same venue. But yeah, definitely it comes with an expense. And very rarely, if the same hotel has a couple of rooms, and if you booked one room and there's another room that has something else going on, especially like a musical event or something, it may disturb your conference if the doors are open. And then availability is the main thing, because most of the big places are booked months and months in advance. While I think, see, as we say, conferences also should be planned well in advance, but really it all picks up momentum a little later. So the availability is always a question mark.
The next most important thing, I think, it's audiovisual. It is the crux of any conference. The success depends on this, because this is the most important aspect which any person who wants to conduct a good conference, after the selection of topics and faculty, I think the most important thing which they need to stresses audiovisual. They need to have a good team of technical people. I think in India we have Anand's team from Coimbatore, and in Chennai we have all Alfred team who helped us in all conferences. We never had any trouble, and all international faculties in every conference had a good praise for audiovisual team, because they said we can't get such beautiful audiovisual even in UK or US. And that was the clarity with which all workshop was telecasted to delegates. And the part which need to focus, that was easily explainable to the technical people, because they were used to all these medical conferences. So we always used LED screens in all our conferences. That was very clear and precise in details. And we should be able to coordinate with them personally. In audiovisual team, we need to completely, give them the idea of the conferences, who are the important people with whom they may interact, okay? And we have to detail our expectations. We have to provide conference material to the team, like the schedule and important personalities to be marked to them. Connectors, especially those who carry MacBook, they may have trouble in carrying, they may forget to bring their connectors. So you need to have standby connectors for all types of laptops, and we need to have a preview room, and backup should always be created with the technical team for seamless projection of material by the faculty.
Yeah, and I think one of the audiovisual, he was very kind enough to offer a drone at the last minute, thinking that, it'll be good to have pictures from different angles, but that was done after Kuttu Velakku, and then suddenly everything switched off, and that was because of all the fan from the drone. And then you're just wondering that what happened suddenly, kind of. So the communication that that we need to have constantly with the audiovisual. Yeah.
So this is the most important aspect. The next is seating arrangement. It could be a theater or a cluster arrangement. For a theater, you need to accommodate more audience. It's better to have a theater arrangement, like rows of people sitting. It is more of a formal arrangement. Cluster arrangement is for those who means if you have a audience of 150 to 200, it's better to have a cluster arrangement. It is very informal or a casual type of arrangement, and it makes everybody to see each other and they can interact with each other, and it is very convenient for the delegates also. So this is one of our conference where we had a cluster arrangement where it is very casual and informal, where people can talk to each other and look around. And so it was mostly our cluster arrangements in all our conferences, because our target was around 200 to 250 in each conference. So you can see some people taking selfies also during the presentations. So it becomes a friendly natured conference. So the next important aspect is accommodation.
So whether it's in the same venue as where the conference is done, or you want to have, you choose some hotels close by as well, especially when you have some postgraduates on your thing. So you want to have multiple options available, but all very close to the venue. At least they don't have to pay for the transport and should be walkable distance. So if you're actually trying to get different people to be together, you also have to see like how you see for your own family weddings. What are the, how does the chemistry work of putting two people together in the same room? Will it work? Or you need single rooms or double rooms and all those other things. And then you always, the last minute bookings, would you get rooms available? So you always tell the hotel to give you a little, this way, that way, whether you may need some extra rooms. So just to have a little leverage. I think we developed a relationship with Hotel Green Park.
Yeah. Actually, one of the conferences we had booked exactly 50 rooms. So the audiovisual fellows came, sir, I want 3 rooms for my people because we have got 21 people. Where will we stay? So that was a real eye-opener for us. So you may have people like them, means you may have to give extra space for you in hotels. And some faculty may not, they don't like to be in double rooms. Suddenly they'll come and the AC is not working in that room, or I don't like the ambience or the view from the hotel. So we have to, because we are conducting marriage from the ladies' side, so we have to arrange everything from for the faculty, right? So The next is transport. So always have 2 to 3 vehicles at your disposal, because you cannot refuse. Suppose a faculty, if you're conducting a conference in Chennai and one international faculty wants to visit Mahabalipuram, and he says, okay, I'll arrange my car. You can't say, because he may be a very important person to you. So you have to oblige him with one vehicle. So have 1 or 2 vehicles at your disposal so that you can use it SOS basis. And we can always club pickups and drops together by the arrival of the flights. And some hotels provide easy access to that. And always have one vehicle for organization, team, personal use. Suddenly you have to bring a garland. Suddenly you may have to bring a bouquet. You may have to give a gift. One conference I had to gift 2 kgs of coffee powder to a faculty because he had asked for it specifically. So I had to ask one of my helper to use the car, go bring 2 kilos of Brook Bond coffee powder. So it happened, it happens. So always have one vehicle at your disposal. And you have to think about certificates, invitations, flyers, gifts. And one gift which we gave in one of the conferences was a personalized towel that Pooja gave this idea that we printed individual delegate name on a towel and it was gifted to them. So we have to personalize our gifts in the conferences and other stationaries.
And sometimes to give them something that everybody needs a towel. So we just chose that because, well, it's useful and you know that it's not going to be some bag that's going to be sitting in a big bundle of bags that you keep getting at every conference. So we just decided to go offbeat, and they were like, gives a towel back. I was like, well, everybody needs a towel. So it worked well.
I still use it, Pooja, though.
Yeah.
So, because whenever I see Surendranath in this towel, I feel very happy because something belongs to me. So next, each conference has to be branded. It means we usually, whenever we conducted a conference, we gave a color theme to that conference, purple, orange or yellow. We have to give branding, including these certificates to ID cards to stage decoration, everything will be reflecting the same color. So that is very important in any conference. Branding is very important. Then comes the tagline, logo, and color.
Yeah, because it's all about aesthetics finally, because however good the topic is, it has to be presented well as well. So that we realize branding matters.
Yeah, the other organizational points are MCA credit points application, which needs to be done at least 2 months before, and website registrations and having your bank accounts linked to your online payments, or if you plan to get cash payments, you have to get a voucher ready. Event managers, or it can be done by your own people during the conference. The advantage with introducing the faculty with our own people is they understand the importance of that particular faculty. So whenever we had our conferences, we had our own doctors introducing faculty. And if you see, the introduction will be very personal and it is very touching, because event manager will just come and read Dr. Pooja Bagdi Agrawal from Australia. So there won't be any personal touch in the introduction. But if you have your own people, they understand the importance of that particular faculty, and the introduction will be very sweet.
Yeah. We've tried event manager as well once in one of the conferences, and we were so disappointed that we said, okay, no, if it takes some extra time, we will go that extra step and just do it by ourselves.
Then stage decoration and furnitures to be concentrated. If you are planning a panel discussion, you need to have a seating arrangement accordingly. Some hotels may not have a particular type of sofa, so you need to arrange beforehand. And stage decoration has to be taken in care. And trade exhibition, space for trade and pharmacy industry exhibition should be arranged. So the next aspect is professional aspect. That is deciding the core concept or theme for any conference. It could be a specific topic for a discussion or any aspect of a particular field. And we need to first develop this whenever we plan a conference. Target audience. And target audience could be from the same field or it could be multi-speciality. We always had multi-speciality audience like anesthetists, surgeons, intensivists, nurses, physiotherapists, nutritionists, everybody. So it was always a multi-speciality audience. So it was, we have to cover a wide range of topics.
Marvelous Medicine is a beautiful platform, or rather LGS, where you see so many different specialties come together, and it's become a way of life now, but wasn't then that many years ago, where people had only their own specialty conferences.
Yeah. So the scientific format, the start and end of a conference, it could be a midday to midday conference. Midday to midday advantages, arrival and departure of flights are very easy because people may not skip your last few sessions. Suppose if you finish the conference by 2 o'clock and the flight is at 5 o'clock, you will have a full hall till 2 o'clock. And people will leave after 2 o'clock if you have an interesting topic. So many conferences I have attended, I would like to attend that particular topic because of the topic or the faculty, but I have a train to catch. So I may have to miss the session at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. So always have a conference ending by 2 or with lunch so that you will have full hall till your last session. Or you may also have 1 or 2 full day conferences according to your convenience. I think one of the conferences in 97, my father used to say he attended one entomology conference in St. Petersburg. So the registration fee included conference and tour, mini tour. The conference will start at 7 o'clock and finish by 1 or 2 with the lunch. And after lunch, 210 delegates will split into 7 buses. They will tour St. Petersburg, the important places, and they'll come back for dinner and finish the conference. Even during the tour, it will be a small discussion, okay, over in a zoo or in a different place. So 3 days they attended the conference in the morning session, and after lunch, they visited important places in St. Petersburg. So conferences can be conducted in that way also. So format, you have to decide about the format, whether it should be a lectures or panel discussions or pro-con sessions. Always better to have a lectures interspersed with some panel discussion or because it breaks the monotony.
It also keeps you awake, especially if you're getting the everybody from the floor involved as well. Lectures, like I think maybe in 2000s, it was always only didactic lectures. That was probably format of all conferences. You will probably have 1 or 2 pro-con sessions and very few panel discussions. The conferences that we've done is, I think we have made panel discussions like the theme through how it flows, because you're getting multiple people give different inputs on the same topic. Personally, I think that really works well, because instead of having just one person talk on one topic, you're getting so many people's crystallized views and practical experiences on the same topic, instead of a didactic lecture of 40 minutes from one person on the same topic.
So ideal lecture time should be between 10 to 12 minutes, and a panel discussion shouldn't exceed half an hour, and good floor discussion, and always give 5 minutes buffer time between sessions. So you don't pack your schedule tight. If you plan to have 3 lectures, have it from 9 to 9:15 and give 5 minutes gap, and 9:20 to 9:35, then give another 5 minutes gap and start from 9:40 to 9:55. That 5 minutes will give buffer time. If one faculty overshoots by a minute or 2, he may not disturb your schedule. And you have to factor the time for the faculty to start walking from his place to reach the podium and the introduction of the faculty. It will take 1 or 2 minutes. So everything should be factored in, and this 5-minute buffer time will help you to finish your conference because there is a general opinion that a conference in India will never start on time. 9 o'clock means it will start only at 10, 6 o'clock means it will finish only at 8. So nowadays the conferences are starting on time, whether you have 1 delegate or 2 delegates in the ground, and they finish by 5. And we have to maintain the punctuality with the help of this 5-minute buffer time so that you can reschedule your session. Suppose your faculty doesn't turn up, what will you do? You miss the lecture and you bring the next lecture to this slot. the slot which is vacant. So this is one way you can buy time. And anything else, Pooja, you want to add?
No, I think it just gives you more time for discussion. And I think that's you really want discussion. You want everybody to be involved. So, and I think that one of very different things that we've probably done is how much time we spent into introducing a topic or introducing the concept of the topic by audio-visual aids. That was something that spent a lot of time on. And I think that was another that we did very differently to what's usually done.
Yeah, between these two sessions, suppose you have between lectures, that 5-minute buffer time, you can engage the audience with the help of some videos or medical facts with the screen. And you can have some time to arrange for the faculty to reach this stage, etc. So this is one thing which we did in most of the conferences which we had conducted.
For example, the last TACon, that from womb to tomb, we had like a 1.5 minute or 1 minute video introducing every topic. It was a lot of effort by you, Suren.
Thank you. The next is the selection of faculty. So most of the faculties are invited by merit. So it should be, means this faculty selection should be very careful. And always communicate with the faculty and confirm the topic, what he or she wants to present. Suppose we may have some topic in hand, but they may prepare some other topic and come. So always communicate well with the faculty and discuss and highlight the concept and what is expected from him. I know one conference we had anesthesia for atrial fibrillation in pregnant women. And the topic is for 20 minutes and the person spoke about atrial fibrillation, pathophysiology, medical management, everything. And by the time came to 20th minute, she said, that's it. But the main thing was anesthesia management in a pregnant woman with atrial fibrillation. That was not discussed. So we need to communicate with the faculty what is expected from him or her correctly. And you have to tell these are the aim of your lecture. So that becomes very precise and even the faculty will have an idea what to deliver. So you don't miss anything of what you wanted. And last minute dropout of faculty is a possibility. So you should be expecting at least 15 to 20% of attrition in faculty and plan accordingly. Some people have a standby lectures prepared well, and that can be used. Otherwise, you advance the next session to fill the gap. So this is from one of the conferences which we had conducted. If you see the panelists, Dr. Mathan is a gastroenterologist, Dr. Ramakrishna is a gastroenterologist. You have few nutritionists and from multiple departments and various fields who came for this enhanced conference. So we have one anesthetist sitting in, one nursing director and a nutritionist in the same platform. So you can always bring multiple department to spice up your conference. The next is scientific proceedings, from hard copy to soft copy to no copy, because we used to get bound copies from each conference as souvenirs. Then it became CDs and pen drives. Now hardly any conference gives any copy. People take pictures from their mobiles and record videos from whatever they want to take home. So you have to think about scientific proceedings. If you want to give, yes, well and good, because it will be useful for juniors and postgraduates who prepare for exams to have ready-made notes from a faculty. So that is something which you think about in this, preparing for any conference.
Typically in most of the conferences that I have attended here in Australia, they don't give you any hard copy. There is nothing.
Yeah. So the next is the most important cultural and fun part. So you will have inauguration, and usually we invite our governors who are specially appointed to be our chief guests or prominent personalities. So you have to think about whom you have to make on-stage dignitaries, some society president or secretary, or very important person who is who have helped you to conduct this conference. So you have to think about them to make them as on-stage dignitaries. lamp lighting, candles and other requirements you have to keep in mind. Souvenir release, if you have any souvenirs or hard copies to be released in the inauguration, and always have it pre-lunch so that you have at least half full hall. Don't have it in the beginning or in the end of the day, isn't it? At least you have to have a good audience whenever you invite some chief guest.
Sometimes you also invite them when you want a, when you want a political statement to be made, or you want a statement to come out of a political leader, rather, to enhance a concept of, say, for example, day surgery. When we wanted to make that concept more popular, we tried to do it at such a time that we had the loss of words. But we tried to do it at such a time when everybody was available, and then you also get some media awareness or presence because of that, because a political person has been a part of that statement that was made.
Most important thing is food and beverages. This is one of the easiest way to make a conference a grand success. Because in India, because we have a lavish 21 to 25, menu, lunch and dinner, lavish spread. So it is the easiest way. So give an extra stress and concentrate on making your menu attractive. Because people may attend, you may have a good topics inside, but they said food was very horrible. Okay, so that is the most important thing. So you shouldn't leave it to chance. So you have to make sure that your spread and menu is picked, and you choose good items, and don't make most masaledar, and you have to have a dozen of panto sets in your pockets to give your delegates and faculties. And make sure that food is prepared in a very hygienic way, because you want faculty to attend the next day conference also. They can't end up in food poisoning. So these are some things which we had personally experienced. So we want to share with you all. So make sure that food is prepared hygienically, and it should be non-spicy. So these are some finer details which you need to think about, and try to have coffee and tea served throughout the session so that people can break from the conference anytime. So they will be at ease to go and have a cup of coffee anytime. And liquor is a controversial topic. Some conferences totally abandon liquor. In some states, it's not allowed. But if you plan a liquor, the formula which I was told by Professor Sridhar is, should I tell, or okay, we can discuss, no problem. 40% of any conference people will drink. So 50% should be beer. Okay, and another 25% should be light, like wine or something like that, and another 25% hard liquor. So this is the formula which we gave. Suppose if you have a 200 delegates, so you should anticipate at least 80 to 90 of them will drink. So you should plan your inventory accordingly. Okay, so we can smuggle from, I don't know, we can smuggle from Pondicherry for a better rate or something like that. I don't know, but you should, this is how the formula which he gave. 2:1:1. The entertainment part, the gala cultural event, you can engage any personalities, or you can have your own faculties or delegates as artists, and you can have your fun part. It should be a very easy to, not more than 1 to 2 hours. We had once a stand-up comedy in one of our conferences for half an hour. And he engaged the crowd very well, and it was well received. And we also had a fashion show in one of our conferences by delegates and faculties. So they had practice. Yeah, that was practice in between the session. The fashion show was practice in between session, and it was a grand success. Or you can arrange a trip to a nearby tourist spot. We had arranged it for one of our conferences after the day-long workshop of after 5 o'clock in the evening, we had taken to them to Dakshin Shitra, which is a cultural and heritage center near Chennai. So it is around 30 kilometers. So we arranged 4 or 5 buses, and we transported entire workshop delegates and faculties, and they had a very nice time. That means they had mehendi spots, they had, that is a folklore of Tamil Nadu, which was located there. And people from North India, they had to experience something new. So that was good for delegates. They enjoyed their evening, and we had a dinner there, and we are back to our hotels by 11 o'clock or so. And you should see the next day conference at 8 o'clock, 100% attendance, because we had everybody under our control. So they had returned to the conference the next day fresh.
It's almost like work hard and party harder.
Yeah. So this is from the conference. These are all are leading anesthetists, leading practicing anesthetists in India and abroad, who had organized this fashion show in the evening after the conference. So the next is media management, press meet and press release. If you have any press meet, you have to organize in the evening with the organizing secretary, president, and the society secretary and president in your press meet. Press release, we had one of our conferences, we inaugurated our day surgery as a part of a conference, and that was done in 2014. And we had a press release, press meet, and news item came the next day. So this is a way to popularize your field in the part of world you work.
Yeah. And I think that was very important, because I think at that point we were really trying to raise the concept of day surgery, and we wanted to make it very much an event that happens everywhere, and that really helped to push, to give day surgery a lot of impedance in Chennai, a lot of push in Chennai. Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. I think
thank you for bringing for this topic and bringing us together, and truly reliving so many beautiful memories.
Over to you, Dr. Rajiv Tiwari. We overshot our time.
Thank you, Vidya. Thank you. Surendranath and Pooja, you did excellent work. I mean, that's how we see the conference. It's all images that were coming in front of me as I conducted in my time. And I also conducted around 5 or 6, 3 national conferences I conducted. I was organizing secretary. Every picture was, I mean, there were a few points which were very good. Rather, they were learning for me also. Especially if you have a conference in the hospital with the different faculties, in-house conference with a different menu for food. Excellent idea. I mean, I'll practice that now. But that's wonderful. I mean, all faculties can, because that's very true that we anesthetists don't interact with the other specialties more often, and they also don't interact with us. So this is a very good idea. Now, the concept of the conferences should be like this only, that you have mutual conferences on the state and national level also, where you have orthopedic surgeons and orthopedic anesthesia. I mean, not orthopedic anesthesia conference mixed. Like we used to have a cardiac surgeon and cardiac anesthesia combined, neurosurgeon and neuro anesthesia combined. A lot of discussions and things can happen. But yes, you can start with the in-house itself. Very importantly, you said we have to, I mean, every point you covered perfectly. There's no doubt. And I just want to know, because Pooja, you're abroad, and Dr. Patta Radhakrishnan is also in Australia. I mean, what basic difference you see in our conference in India and outside? That is very important to know. I mean, I know I've attended few of the conferences, no food, just have a package. I mean, everything you have to purchase, and you have to stay in the conference hall, and very tight schedules are there. But this is also very good. I attended one of the conferences in Korea, in Seoul. In the afternoon, after lunch, they took us to the Seoul tour. This happened for 3 days. It's a good idea. We should accept those kind of concept in India also. But how you are making it different, it's very important to know that also.
So in Australia, I haven't conducted anything yet. I don't think I'm going to get there anywhere soon. It's very different, because I think you missed the camaraderie, what you had. Like, we've been working together. So what our chemistry was inside the theater, it just carried on to outside the theater and just continuing like that. It's like you're doing things with your family. Yeah. And I think there's the way things are done, they're just different. They wouldn't know that food is given so much importance. In India, food has so much importance. Like,
yeah. Food and family. The
Yeah.
ISA conference, national conference, they come with the family, even father,
Yeah.
mother also come, and you have to take care of them also. I mean, that's also the part of the conference, and that's how we people in India do that, and we
Yeah.
entertain everyone there, and we keep very good food. Even oldies are there; they go for outside tours. Fantastic,
Yeah.
and definitely Vidya said culture program has to be very good. We had whole night singing together at Delhi. We at Fortis conference. That's why she's mentioning me that I remember each and every song. But yes,
Yeah.
that's also part because you get to release your tensions. You come to the conference, you see the place, you learn certain things, and you just want to enjoy because you're out of the work for those
Yeah.
2 3 days and you're enjoying.
Yeah.
So that has to be taken equally, very importantly, taken care for that. Over to you, Vidya. What else I can say about this? It was a very good invite to me, and I'm happy to be the part of this meets now and regularly future.
Thank you, sir.
Oh,
Pooja, what Dr. Tiwari was asking was, did you attend any of the conferences there? And other than food, any fundamental difference in the way conference is conducted in Australia? Maybe because of COVID, you didn't have too many to attend. Is that it?
Yeah, so I think the ones that I attended were more exam focused because that was my focus primarily before, but I didn't attend the others. So more of didactic lectures, and then they also have like very many small group discussions. They just break you into groups and have very small groups and they discuss. So say abroad, like even for a wedding, if you get 50 people, they're like, oh God, there were 50 people at the wedding, like 50. In India, like that, you'll just get 50 people. So it's very different, to see things from their point of view and to understand how they think about it. It is very different. So to be very honest, the big conferences that were to be conducted after COVID hit, everything is gone on online platforms.
Right. What I'd suggest now, since it'll be, I don't know when this COVID era is going to end and how other more eras will come in future. We don't know about that. But this online conferences, online discussions will keep on going now in future. This is what I feel personally. They will become a part and parcel of our daily life. And we regularly will have such meetings and Zoom meetings. So, Surendra, what's bad about there's nothing bad about it that you choose the one or two singers from the participants also to have video meeting when you can put them somebody is playing some music or somebody is singing song, somebody is dancing, because you can't do on platform, so you can do in virtual. So virtual dancing can be added to these programs.
true, sir. True, always.
Thanks for joining, Hetal. A few words from you. Hetal has also organized several conferences, and you did the first TechOn, right?
Yeah. We did the second TechOn. Second TechOn. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, first TechOn was in Delhi, then second TechOn we conducted in Ahmedabad, and third was in Chennai. But honestly speaking, Chennai was the best, and Pooja and Suren were excellent, and I enjoyed it most. And I will say that it was one of the best conference I have attended.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So, Radhakrishna, both of them feel that you are the reason they're there. They did what they did. So, what do you have to say?
Ravi Shankar raised his hand. Vidya, let Ravi.
So, Ravi, you suddenly you have to talk about the conferences in United States. Because the only time I attended one was American Society of Anesthesiology conference, and I thought I could jump between halls, and then it didn't happen because it was such a big venue, and we had to even pay for each lecture other than registering for the conference. So it's a completely different deal. And of course, in places like Thailand, they still have gala conferences like how we do. Probably they take it up a notch further. So Dr. Rajiv was asking about international conferences. So your take on conferences in India versus conference in the US, or you must have attended everywhere in the world.
So I'm going to Yeah, thanks. It was a lovely talk because I've never arranged a conference. So I'm amazed at the amount of work and the attention to detail that's required. So thank you to Suren and Pooja for sort of opening my eyes to that aspect of it. So in my current life, whatever conferences that are or meetings that I organize is just in quotation marks because I don't do anything other than ask for it. I have a whole meeting management department that takes care of it. So it's really, you know, very little that I have to do other than say whether I will be available for the dates that they're organizing it. And we have an audiovisual crew, and I have a very funny anecdote about it. In one of our conferences, we suddenly started hearing funny noises that came through the audio system, and we had to literally look around the entire conference room to figure out what was happening. And turns out that one of the technicians was so jet lagged that he was sleeping and snoring, and that was the sound that was coming everywhere. So from that point on, we had to tell them that please make sure that if somebody is really tired, ask them to find another place to rest for a little while and not do it while working. So that was an interesting experience. But anyway, going back to the conferences that I've attended, most of them are the American Diabetes Association conferences or the Pediatric Endocrine Society conferences. And they're very similar to what you just said, Vidya, which is basically they are pretty expensive. The organizational fees are, the registration fees are pretty high. Thankfully, as members, it's slightly lower for us compared to non-member fees. And typically conferences in the United States do not include lunch or any beverage or anything else. Conferences in the EU, on the other hand, do include boxed lunches and coffee and biscuits, as they call it, throughout, for the entire duration of the conference. I did not realize this importance that people pay to the food aspect for conferences in India. And it sort of puts my experience in perspective because a few years ago, I was in India for the ISPAD conference, which was the International Society for Pediatric and Adolescent Diabetes. And it was in Hyderabad. And, the food was just absolutely out of this world. And I just didn't realize the amount of thought that went into it. So now I totally understand how the organizers from India for that conference managed to pull it off. So it was really important. The one thing is that a lot of the conferences that I attend, we don't have workshops as much in terms of like the American Diabetes Association or something like that, but it's so full of concurrent sessions that sometimes you want to sort of clone yourself. Sometimes you figure out, how can I skate from one room to another, because it's across a conference center. There's a skywalk where you have to run across and get into another thing. So it takes a lot of time the previous evening to plan out your next day. From 9 to 10, I'm going to be here. So which means that I have to be at the conference center at 8:45 because I need to grab some coffee on my way there. Otherwise, I will be totally asleep for that talk. And, that kind of planning has to go into it. So the kind of planning you guys do to organize the conference, well, we as attendees have to do it to attend that conference, I think, with equal thing, because we have to plan coffees, lunches, where to meet people. Everything has to be mapped out the night before. So I'll stop there.
Yeah, over to you, Ankit.
Yeah. Like I had a very tough day today in the Persian Theatre, and I'm just totally relaxed. It's one of the pleasant days, I should say. Seeing Suren and Pooja speak. Actually, this to start with, these are beautiful human beings. And I should say excellent anesthetists. And, they say that one can make you out what you are by seeing your friends. And, I'm sort of lucky to have you, including Vidya. And I miss them a lot because there are no meetings anymore, neither the conferences nor the smile meetings. And then these two are sort of they sync so beautifully. You have seen on many occasions. And if one is a workhorse, the other one will make the horse work.
Pooja, which one are you?
Take a guess. Make the horse work.
Now, see, both of them actually, when when we're working together and doing conferences, frankly, I do nothing. I buy coffee, sit together, chit chat, and I go back and get to my own life. And but by next morning, many things are done. I mean, these people are too innovative, too expressive, too innovative, and so much of energy, so much of thoughtfulness. And actually, both of them have small kids at that point of time. And the kids are not given enough time, and as I seen these things happen. But again, not only that they are organizing the state level conference, national conference, local conference, then we have Smile. Never was a Smile cancelled because either Suren is not there or Pooja is not there, mind you. And they are running a list actually. Both of them are running a list, and I don't know how they adjust. Not just that, I don't choose any topic. I don't talk to any speaker, and they do some homework for the topic, and then they make slides, and Pooja is very good in this, national menu which you're talking about, and that's remembered forever. Actually, in one thing in our hospital, everybody keeps asking, when will the next Smile? I said, when Suren and Pooja are back. See, actually, I can't imagine. I just can't imagine. Now, see, these two humans enjoy doing what they're doing. They have nothing to do with their subject when they do these programs, and don't look for anything in return. See, the thing of Pooja, she was getting for the AdsCon, getting the speakers, their addresses, their emails, their photographs, working on the computer. And Suren is a multitask. We just can't believe. Now, and of all this, see, I have opinions about conferences. There are many conferences which are individual focused, organizing secretaries on the stage all the time. Is there everywhere? It's actually to possibly is fighting an election in the next quarter or something. It's like, see, these people are spontaneous. Actually, they're there everywhere, and just worried. Whenever a conference goes on, Pooja's heart rate goes on because where is the next speaker? What happened to this? What happened? I see. I mean, actually, this sort of involvement should be there in every meeting, and that's why actually you'll not believe, Vidya. Dr. Samaran Nandi, my boss in learning journals, is such an adamant and fastidious person. He got up on stage and said, "This is the best conference I ever attended."
I was there when he said that.
I mean,
he said, "You organize like this, I'll come every year."
No, even now when he meets me, when are you doing the next meeting? That's what he asks. How can I say I can't say Pooja is not there. And he said, why don't you make a similar meeting in Delhi? Actually, frankly, very little I do. I just sit in one corner and do nothing. Actually, you would have noticed that. I don't even bother who's speaking next, who's coming.
No. You have the idea, you have the concept, you know how to choose people, and then you are confident in delegating, which most people don't have. Like I, for one, I'm terrible at delegating. So, Tilaka, would you like to say something?
One last thing before.
Yeah, we come back to you, Radhakrishna. You have to end. So, Tilaka, you wanted to say something? Your hands up.
Hi, ma'am. Hi, everybody. So absolutely amazing talk, Dr. Surendranath and Dr. Pooja. I've never met you people in person, but I mean, like, this is like the textbook talk that somebody should go through if they want to organize a conference without having an event organizer. Because like if you have an event organizer, they kind of take care of all these things. But when we organize without an event organizer, I've been involved in a conference or two. So I was wondering, like, okay, there will be something that they miss out that, like we can discuss later, but absolutely no point untouched, like including, like the personalized gifts to having an extra cab for, because majority of the times all these things are small things, but it kind of creates a lot of problems for the ones who are organizing, and to having that 5 minutes buffer time, because just because we don't have that buffer time and it's like a jam-packed schedule, we always end up getting the conferences late. So awesome. I mean, like, and Dr. Patta's testimonial to the way that you people have organized conferences, that is enough, I guess. Like, he kept on telling that you guys don't expect anything, but that is enough for, like, whatever you have done. The only thing probably that I wanted to ask you is, how do you market your conferences? Like, how do you get the right kind of audience? Getting the right kind of faculty is one thing, but how do you get the right kind of audience?
Okay, the one conference where we conducted in about daycare, we individually invited, we went to Madras Medical College, we went to Keel Park Medical College, met the HODs, and then we told what is the conference about, and definitely they sent a lot of people for our conference, and individually texting and emailing and talking to them on phone. This is one way. And two conferences which we conducted were on behalf of a Facebook group. So that was very easy for get our delegates because it was through the Facebook group advertisements. Otherwise, the other conference is through the, we contact through the email. Means we go to the society, get the member email list. Suppose Chennai City ISA has got the entire mailing list. So we keep mailing them every fortnight with the updates of the conference and some important aspect of the conference to attract them.
I think for one of the conferences, you're asking how to attract delegates to the
delegates.
Conference. Yeah, so mainly through social media, I would think. Right now, that's what we did. And the first one was to popularize the concept by meeting in person, as Suren said. That was a lot of work, to meet in person, to make that time in between work and somehow coordinate a time when somebody from the place that you're visiting is available to give you a ear to listen to was very difficult, but I think it paid off in the end because it really popularized the concept.
Yeah, safe meeting. When we conducted our future Green OT meet, so we met all medical colleges, private, including the private like Madha Medical College. Then we went to Chettinad Medical College. We went to private hospitals. So individually inviting them made a huge impact. So because nobody comes to your doorstep for a conference, isn't it, to invite you. So in that way, we could attract a lot of delegates.
Thank you, Dr. Surendranath and Dr. Pooja. Thank you so much.
Back to you, RK.
See, the very concept of day surgery, I should say, Vidya, the whole credit goes to Pooja. When we started doing daycare laparoscopic surgery, and Pooja's car used to be in the daycare surgery center at 5:30 a.m. before anybody else comes, and that went on for hundreds of cases, and then later on, she blossomed so much in the daycare anesthesia. Then she's presented papers internationally and got accolades and so on, and that's a very, very great credit to her. And I should say about Suren one thing. Of course, Suren, he can beat any weather, whatever. But then when it comes to TACON is not that easy a conference to, because it is not 100%. There's so much of a influence from elsewhere, everything, and you all know very well. And the scientific. Anyway,
Suren left out the controversial bits. That okay, it's not like every time you won't have.
I want to say is, and the correct moment, Pooja isn't there. I was also sort of not involved. He did single-handedly, and whole credit goes to him. Yeah. To have a similar TACON is not easy.
Yeah, there was a lot of hard work, and the final day event he carried.
yeah, both the days he literally carried it on his shoulders. So, I mean, that part, I think maybe somebody should speak about that. That when you're organizing a conference, it's not always going to be smooth sail. You're going to have people with difference of opinion, and there will be some personality clashes, all that. So you should be firm in your idea, but at the same time be humble enough to sort of ignore stuff, which is what Suren and you did. So thanks a lot for that. So,
So Vidya, you forgot one very important thing, which is you need to have skin that is 3 parts rhinoceros hide and 1 part concrete.
So anyway, so if at all, I should thank, other than thanking Radhakrishna, I should thank Suren and Pooja, because I think Radhakrishna missed Smile so much that he made me do Marvelous Medicine. So you can take Marvelous Medicine as an avatar of Smile, and we'll try to keep it going till you guys are back in Chennai to start doing it again. Thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv Tiwari, for sparing your time, and thank you everyone for joining us. And I am so glad that I could get the 3 of you together. I mean, I had to bully Suren and you to keep the day, but thank you so much, and I'm sure you enjoyed. Suren, your last words before you run off for your case?
No, madam, nothing from my side. So take it easy whenever you conduct a conference. It shouldn't influence you much, in the sense, don't take it hard. Definitely you'll have more negative comments than positive. So try to take the negative comments in your stride and try to implement it in your next conference. That's the only thing which we can do.
Yeah. Listen to everyone. Do what you know you have to do. That's it.
Yes.
On that note, we'll end today's program, and we'll see you again next week with another episode of Marvelous Medicine. In the coming weeks, we are going to have some real luminaries whom you will be privileged to listen. I hope many of you will join us. Good night and stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good
for
night.
the opportunity.